Hi everyone, my name is Armine Bazikyan and I'm a wills and trusts attorney here in Los Angeles. And I want to answer the question, what happens if I only have a will in place and I have done no other legal document with respect to my estate plan? And this is a great question. In California, the law says that if you have created a basic will and nothing else, your estate will go through the probate process. Now, a lot of times people think that if they go out and they hire an attorney who creates a will, that they're taken care of and they don't need to do anything else and their kids will inherit everything and everything will be great. That's true, but the main important reason for visiting an attorney is to avoid the probate process. So let's take a step back. The California law says that if you have done nothing, you have not created any estate plan, or if you have done a will, in both those scenarios, you have a will and you don't have a will, in both those cases, your estate will go through a court process called probate. Okay? So a lot of times people think that if they create the will, they don't have to go to court, but that is not true. Your estate will still be funneled through the probate court system, which is what we want to avoid, which is what my goal is as an estate planning attorney. So what's the real difference? What is it that you're getting by creating a will versus not doing one at all? When you create a will, although your estate is going through the probate process, the judge will actually follow your instructions in the will instead of reading what the law says needs to be done. So in a scenario where you didn't have a will in place, it would go through the same probate process and the judge would read the law and say, you know what, David, you have 2 kids, you're not married. The law says that your 2 children will receive your estate. Okay? If David went out and prepared a basic will, it would still go through this court process and the judge would read his will and say, okay, David, it looks like you only want your son to inherit everything and you don't want to give anything to your daughter. That's great. That's how we're going to do it at the end. So the judge would actually follow David's instructions in the will. But David would still, his estate would still incur the legal expenses associated with probate. So as we mentioned, probate is an expensive process, it's very time consuming, and it's public information. So David's estate would still be going through all of those negatives. It would be an expensive process, it would still take a year to a year and a half to probate the estate, and everyone would know what David has in his estate. So if the goal for David was to avoid going to court, then doing a basic will did not accomplish that goal. So it's very important that when you seek out an attorney, you seek out somebody who's experienced in this field specifically and knows how to handle various kinds of estates. David could have very easily put together a comprehensive estate plan that would have had a will, but that would have also had some other documentations in place that could have helped his estate go to his son, do what he wanted, but without having to go to court. We don't want to deal with the court system. As we've mentioned, it's expensive, it's time consuming, it's not private. David could have put a plan in place that could have been a private plan that only his family members would know. It would have been done quickly and efficiently, and it would have been done with not even half the cost that it would take to go to probate if he had just done proper planning from the beginning before when he was alive. In additionally, by creating just a simple will, David is not actually taking care of a plan for what happens if he's incapacitated. So the will takes care of death, but what we want to do as an estate planning attorney is make sure that we have a plan in place for you that also covers you for disability, meaning if you're mentally or physically not able to do things. So that in that scenario as well, David's family doesn't have to go to court to get a conservatorship. We'll have a plan already in place that'll take care of that scenario for him. So if you'd like to discuss your particular situation with me, feel free to give our office a call. And we provide free consultations and I'd be more than happy to sit down with you and discuss your particular needs.